finest symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Right. I got two left hooves. Who on test? Well, since nobody's stepping to me, take me to your cult leader. Take me to your local drug dealer. Take me to the man in the mirror when you stand and deliver with your hand on the trigger, an emotional terrorist. I-double-M-U-N-E. Never make my enemy public. I'm a private dancer, dancing for money. Let's rock. Do that thing that's funny.
Dance, monkey. Dance, you goddamn monkeys. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Spot Monkey Radio. We
Notice
are
how, notice how I didn't dance because everybody was like, whoa! And they would have taken it the wrong way.
Oh, we're coming back hot.
Listen.
the triple threat's back. Ladies,
I'm always going to say some off the wall shit. Like I just told Cheyenne, he made mention about somebody making reservations somewhere so far that it was damn near, I guess, going upstate. And I said, next time they should have brunch at Ellis Island. He just thought I was going too far. Sorry to cut you off on that intro. My bad.
That's all good. That's Malik. That's Mike, and I'm Tony. And today we're going to break down WrestleMania. It's coming at you hard, fast. And off topic here, because like I said, it's gonna be really WrestleMania heavy. But me and Greco were talking off stream about how Triple H's bookings. Maybe some people are starting to question it a little bit. My wife is one of those people. But we're gonna talk about it a little later in the show. But right now, let's just break down WrestleMania. Now it's 2 nights. Some people saying that it doesn't really feel like WrestleMania season. Other people are very excited about it. I don't know. We'll break it down right now. We'll start with Greco. Greco, how do you feel WrestleMania has played out so far? You see what's essentially going to be happening this weekend. You know what matches are in place already and what matches they're going to set up. What say you? How do you feel about WrestleMania season so far?
So here's my biggest issue, with the exception of maybe I believe between the 2 nights, it's 13 matches as of right now. And it's 7 on night 1, and 6 on night 2, which I'm okay with because I've been a big proponent of if you're having these pay-per-views, PLEs, whatever you call them, the 4 or 5 match thing isn't working for me. I need a couple extra matches for the big ones.
Yeah, I think this is what they did last year as well. The same set.
Yeah, I believe so. 7 and 6. Yeah, which again, I'm fine because this for night 2, Cody Cena's your main event. You're gonna give it the most time with the entrances and everything like that. Yeah. I just feel looking at the matches, it's just kind of like,
That's how I feel.
Like night 1, the Seth Roman Punk match. It's pretty much just been Roman Punk with something about Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins just happens to be in this match.
So now I'm glad you brought that one up because now I watched the thing on SmackDown where he basically the favor is that Paul Heyman will accompany CM Punk to the ring and be his advocate again, right? And Roman Reigns laughed it off, said this guy loves me. And then kind of gave a couple of digs, like I saved him. If it wasn't for me, he'd be nothing. Shit like that kind of set it up. Are you two in the same boat as me right now where I think Paul Heyman's going to join Seth Rollins?
Yes.
I mean, it's weird the way it's setting up. I don't know. And is anybody else in the same boat with me whereas this is probably the official end of the bloodline? Like this whole bloodline thing finally, I think, is coming to an end here with this whole thing with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns.
I'm having a bit of complications on the fact that, well, one, I think the bloodline situation is on ice for the time being. I don't want to say that the whole story and situation is over with because you could always run that back at a later time. Right now, the focus could just be on, all right, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman because everybody's pretty much doing their own thing, so it's not needed or necessary. As far as Heyman aligning himself with Rollins, I'm kind of 50-50 on it because I feel like it's what's being teased to us, and we just don't know it.
Have you noticed this? that Triple H will dangle a breadcrumb here, for instance, like you just said with this whole Seth Rollins Paul Heyman thing, and then they usually have a whole nother game plan that they try.
Going with, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's very hard to kind of like, and it's a good thing when it comes to pro wrestling, but it's very hard to gauge where they're going to go, where the outcome is going to go, and I assume that's what's annoying people. And I don't know, because a lot of people, like I said, they're saying that his booking is some of it is going nowhere. Like, for instance, he had the Wyatt Six feuding with the Final Testament. That went nowhere. Obviously, most of the Final Testament is gone now. And then he had a couple of
Bailey and Roxanne were starting a program, and
that went nowhere. Yeah,
which is very disappointing because they brought Roxanne Perez again to just appear on SmackDown, which I feel like it's a bit interesting that they've had Axiom and Nathan Frazier and Roxanne Perez is somewhat of a preview of like, hey, they're soon coming to the main roster. We'll be leaving NXT.
I think that's a post-Mania thing. I think they're just trying to get feels on what the crowd like does with them.
Well, it was similar to how they did with Carmelo Hayes. They had him featured on SmackDown while he was still on NXT, and it's the slow transition of what's to come.
I'll throw a wild one out there for you for the end of night one. You have the point where you have the triple down in this case instead of a double down because now there's three of them, and just out of nowhere Brock Lesnar comes out, beats up Punk, beats up Roman, leaves with Heyman. And then that's how Seth gets the win. And Heyman doesn't exactly have to join Seth, but Seth, to me, Seth Rollins has to win this match.
Sir Greco, I agree with you on that last statement. Seth Rollins has to win this match. But I will go to ask you a question I have never asked you. Because I've never seen you use any substance. What narcotic are you on today? So that way I can have some for later.
I'm just throwing out wild scenarios. We don't know anymore. You never know what's gonna happen.
My big thing right now with WrestleMania is, well, apart from like Cena and Cody that kind of have it, but even that is kind of like, I felt like after Cena came out and did that whole like chastising of the crowd, it really kind of put a cold bucket of water on it for me. I don't know if it did the same for you, but like after he turned on Cody, you're like, holy shit, I can't believe this is what's going into WrestleMania. Heel John Cena. And then like it just the promos really haven't, at least for me, they haven't landed. They haven't hit the mark. It hasn't made me more excited to see them get in the ring. Even like on Friday where Cody has all the belts in the ring and he's trying to like do some like long-winded history lesson as to why John Cena can't be the champion coming out or why he's worthy of being a champion. And it's just like, I don't think they presented this correctly. I think they did it too soon. Like they're trying to rush it. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it felt when Cena turned. Like I feel like they just threw a cold bucket of water on it.
I think it's due to us sitting back and waiting for weeks for his appearance. And then when he finally showed up, I don't think people were crazy about the first two promos. I think the last one that they did together is the one that had everybody excited and you got that bit of physicality. But then you don't get Cena again until this Friday night on SmackDown. And I feel like WrestleMania being as late as it is in the month is probably what has been the difference for this, for everybody.
Well, you've had 9 weeks since your last pay-per-view.
A while, yeah.
And so we can jump all over the place. It's all about WrestleMania.
So it's right. Yeah,
I'm going to paint the picture for you guys, and I want you to know this was my honest thinking of how they could have did this just a little different. Okay. So my issue now, you're having this problem with Cody Cena, you're having the problem with Jay and Gunther, even though they did the Rocky IV spot, which was amazing and gave that feud some life with Gunther, beating down Jimmy and Jay hold him in the ring with the towel there with the blood. Like it's pure Rocky IV cinema. I loved it. Yeah. Okay. But what I would have done differently, and I think it would have changed things a little, is you should have went with Cena winning the Rumble. Okay, and you should have had Cena hold off on what his decision was until Elimination Chamber. Because at the same time, you just had twice in the last few months Jey Uso lose to Gunther. So the buildup could have been Jay trying to just get back. And the way he got back was winning at Elimination Chamber. And that's where Cody does his decision. So you could have did everything the same exact way. But instead of knowing for 9 weeks now that Jay was going to challenge Gunther, it could have just been like, and you didn't know what Cena was going to do. You could have had Cena do something with Cody, Cena do something with Gunther, have it go back and forth.
I feel like when, like, I guess they felt that Cena didn't need to win the Rumble because of like his name, whereas it like you're putting this whole thing behind Jey Uso. That's why I feel like if he doesn't win, this was all for nothing. You know, like I feel like, you know, you made him win. You get his brother gets the shit kicked out of him. You're getting that emotion out of him finally. They're trying to pull every ounce of emotion out of the Usos. I don't know if you've noticed this, but they're trying to make them, like, at least, especially Jay, they're trying to make him a star that they could, you know, base stories around. So I assume they're trying to, like, you know, trying to pull out whatever they can out of him. And he, like, even like when he tries to cry and he like it doesn't look right. At least to me, when I'm watching it, I'm like, dude, this doesn't feel. And you know, no disrespect to Jey Uso, but even if he wins at WrestleMania, I just feel like it's one of those things where it's, oh, he'll lose at SummerSlam because it just, the weight of the title won't. It's just not going to be. He's not going to be strong enough to carry it. He's not going to be strong enough to. I don't want to say draw money because I don't even think that matters anymore. But like, keep people's interest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one's going to care who he fights next. You know, like when Cody won the title last year, you were kind of like, "Oh, I'm interested to see what this is going to be." Like, Cody's the champion now. Let's see who he fights. When Jey Uso wins the belt, to me, it's just like, well, who's next? Like what's he going to do now? Like, he conquered Gunther. Gunther, like you said, is like one of the biggest heels in the company right now. After that, like, who's next? What do you do with him? Like, so I think he's going to lose. At least that's my opinion. I mean, when I go to a prediction, how do you guys feel?
I had said in the group message last week between the three of us that if he is to win, he should have main event at night 2. Now, I don't think anybody will agree with me on that. I do feel that there has been more effort and more time put into their story than there has been for Cody and John Cena. So I think, like, hey, night 2, you have this guy win, and it's that big celebration, great feeling. Now, as far as him holding the championship past Money in the Bank, because that's kind of where my mind is. I feel like somebody will cash in on him. That's kind of where my brain is going.
Yeah.
This is like, then he'll be chasing again for the title from there to fully establish him as a main eventer, so he won't have to look back down at the IC title.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there is something to the story, and they are trying no matter what to push to get him over. Yeah. Tonight will hopefully solidify more to the story to make it.
I mean, we'll probably get our weekly brawl apart tonight.
Yeah.
You're good for at least one of those every week.
Now, here's a great idea. At least this to tie something back completely around, because this was another storyline that people were saying that Triple H started and then it just stopped, and that was Drew McIntyre headhunting the Bloodline. Right, that just kind of went to shit. Right. If I was them, you want to like kind of hit with long-term storytelling, I'd have Drew McIntyre win Money in the Bank and then cash in on Jey Uso and take the belt from Jey Uso as like kind of like a fuck you. Like, I'm getting mine against the Bloodline in that way, in that regard, maybe. At least so you could see, like, okay, long-term storytelling. He hates the Bloodline. Makes sense as to why he would cash in on Jey Uso and not like Cody or some shit like that. Or if Cena's the champion by then.
I get that. I'll give you one even crazier that I really thought, and the way it was kind of leaning at first was going that direction, and then they changed it with. And I'm one of those people. I don't hate this Drew Priest thing. I actually hope they almost make it a street fight of some type with everything that's been going on.
It is. It's the Sin City street fight.
Oh, is it? Okay, I didn't see that they made that official. Okay, which is fine. I kind of like this. I think the match they had last year was actually really good, and other than Priest like going up over the top rope and almost ripping his knee off, like it was pretty solid. Yeah. But I would have been crazy to say I would have did a 4-way for night 1 and added Drew to that match, because Drew's sick of Punk, Drew's sick of Roman, and at this point, you know, Seth enabled all of this. You know, you could have did the 4 of them, and it could have been a great story.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like they want to get Damian Priest and then this is also long term storytelling because didn't Damian cash in the thing on Drew?
Yes.
So this is a great exclamation point. Started
Yeah.
at WrestleMania, ends at WrestleMania for them.
Yeah, and
I
they've
like.
acknowledged that, which I like.
I can't believe I'm going to say this to you, but I like Drew McIntyre.
No,
He grew on me
you're
now.
not saying anything wrong though. What's the problem?
To me, he got the ass end of things, unfortunately, because when he won Rumble and won the title, it was COVID. Yeah. But for not to be funny, for whatever it was, a year, he carried them. As the champion.
He's very good. And
you know what it was?
I want to say this right now. I want to say this right now to you two boys, because I can't. There's another thing I can't believe I'm going to say. It just completely caught me off guard. I almost fell off my chair. But Sean Spears cut a pretty good promo, and I was floored.
We'll get back into that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I made that public, you guys. But as for Drew McIntyre, a fatal 4-way wouldn't have been bad. But I think, like I said, this is a good way to kind of like
a good way to end this feud. Yeah.
I think that's a good way to do it.
It goes around the year, and during the time where Vince still had a control of everything, and he was carrying around Excalibur and the sword and all that stuff. That's where it was just like, nobody's feeling it anymore, and he probably wasn't feeling it anymore to be a babyface, and the heel turn came, and it was just the right timing.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Tony.
I never understood.
I would have continued this whole bloodline hunter thing.
Yeah, I thought it was good because especially now with the turmoil happening, they're in a state of weakness. He could really start headhunting. He could really start because their attention's not on him.
And I would have at some point, you could have done this, especially now, and you've had, like I said, 9 weeks. Why didn't we get Jay and Jimmy Uso versus Gunther and Kaiser? Just as like a taste match, just as a like remember when they used to do that like a month before, like 2-3 weeks before? You'd always get like the random match that both guys just happened to be in.
Yeah,
tag team or some along those lines. Yeah,
you did. What was it? Brock and Benoit, I think, versus Team Angle. Brock and Benoit versus Team Angle. Brock and Edge versus Team Angle. Like you always had different little things here and there, just to be like, hey, this is what you could look for.
Yeah. Now I got to bring up this comment because this is something else I want to talk about. He said Aleister Black's contract situation, he'd be a great surprise, right? Now
he said he's signed, no?
Aleister Black signed and Rusev signed. With all due respect to those two guys, if they were to walk out at WrestleMania, I wouldn't give a tiny rat's ass. Like I just wouldn't. No disrespect to them. Like it'd be like I guess cool for people who like them, but like to me, it's like, oh my god, Aleister Black is here to fight Randy Orton. I'd be like, yeah, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't care.
I would take that over Rusev. Aleister Black.
I agree, but where I disagree is I don't want that because that's basically a loss for either Orton or Black. That neither one of them really needs that loss.
Yeah.
Like Black doesn't need to come back. I know a loss to Orton doesn't hurt you, but at the same time, like that's not how you want to come back. Yeah. I don't hate the Rusev thing. I saw a report that I would love if Nick Aldis.
I wanted him to wrestle. Yeah, me too.
Especially you built it up with that whole thing. I don't want Sami Zayn.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn, surprisingly, was sitting on the sidelines for this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The comment that I was going to make about this WrestleMania, because everybody has mixed feelings on the build. WrestleMania 16 had tons of multi-man matches.
It did.
Yes.
This is kind of what this show gives for it to be 2 nights of WrestleMania. And I think in total they may have 4 one-on-one matches.
Wow.
Actually, no. They actually have a bunch of them if you don't realize it. Because night 1 has a bunch of them. You got Jay Gunther, Jade and Naomi, Ray and El Grande, which I think is hilarious.
Okay.
Night and Fatu, Tiffy and Charlotte. Then night 2, you got Cody and Cena, AJ and Paul.
So they have more than I expected. Okay.
Yeah, I think the same thing.
Okay, so they have more than I expected. My brain was going, God, there's so many multi-man matches. Like people are upset. I don't even that the Street Profits are not on the Mania card.
Yeah,
to defend their tag titles.
That's another one that Tony was saying about building things up and just going nowhere. You built up a 5-man tag match for the last 3
Yeah.
months.
Which I hate to say is far more important than this last minute of the New Day up against the War Raiders.
Well, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Why that makes no sense as to why you would give Raw's tag team division the highlight when SmackDown clearly has the better tag team division for one, and two, the storyline is more interesting with SmackDown than it is with Raw.
I get what you're saying there fully.
Yeah.
I think this is a potential chance to give the New Day a win at WrestleMania finally, since they've never gotten one.
Yeah.
This is also a nice way to hopefully allow the War Raiders to shine. Hopefully, because I don't think they've ever competed on WrestleMania.
They
but
haven't.
as far as the other tag teams, they deserve to have a spot on WrestleMania. And here's the thing. People have already mapped out and calculated how many hours this weekend's festivities of just Saturday and Sunday alone will be. I don't expect any of you guys, either one of you, to watch the pre-show. You're watching the pre-show, and all you're going to get are the same highlight video packages and meaningless interviews that you're not going to care about. You would much rather prefer to watch the main card at 7 p.m.
Why the hell would I want to subject myself to Peter Rosenberg and Sam Roberts for 4 hours?
3 hours of a pre-show, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm going to tell you what my most upsetting thing about the pre-shows are. Not the
What's
time, not who does it, none of that.
What's that?
I feel we no longer get the special promo package during the pay-per-view. They do it on the pre-show and then do it again on the pay-per-view.
Which is always my issue.
Yeah, like I love that promo right before the match that you've never seen before that gets you excited to watch the match, and you just don't get that anymore because they show it 3 times on a preview show.
But let's back it up a little bit. Let's back it up a little bit on Saturday. At 12 or 12:30, you have a pre-show of NXT Stand and Deliver. Then at 1 o'clock, you have NXT Stand and Deliver.
What?
That's a lot. Yes!
And
yes, Tony!
That ends and goes right into the WrestleMania pre-show.
When do you get a break?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of wrestling. This whole week is a lot of wrestling. I mean, it's shoved down your throat. I mean,
we have wrestling from tonight all the way to next Saturday when you look at it. Because, first of all, I'm sorry, but nobody's watching Collision even if it's at 3 p.m. this Saturday. Period.
Nobody was watching Collision anyway.
If you didn't watch Collision before, you're definitely not going to watch it going up against Stand and Deliver.
You could put Collision on Wednesday afternoon with nothing on it. No one's going to watch it. No one's going to watch this. Dude, after hearing that guy scream the way he did, listen, I have hated AEW for quite some time.
We know.
But I have never been like that. That was nuclear hot. That guy was, I thought he was going to have a heart.
How sick was that? How sick?
Oh, JD?
Yeah, how much screaming. And I was just like, well, you know what? At least I don't hate it like that.
But deep down inside, though, if you were to have watched that pay-per-view, I felt his emotion because I watched it without sleeping from beginning to end.
I want to, at the end of the show, touch on that for 5 minutes because we didn't get a chance to do it last week because of technical difficulties. And I'm sure we all have a few things to say about that.
Yeah. Well, speaking, okay, so let's get back on WrestleMania. Speaking of disasters.
Uh-oh.
Did you watch Friday? I mean, was that not the worst attempt at trying to build a title match that I have ever seen?
Between Tiffany and Charlotte?
Yeah, it was absolute. I mean, I was like, what the fuck is that? What is this? This was literally a waste. Even Wade Barrett was in the ring at one point going, whew, this is brutal.
you mean the promo from the previous week?
Yes, the one where
when they went real with each other. And then last week they do the whole Charlotte keeps attacking her everywhere.
Yeah. I have to say this is probably the worst build for Charlotte going into a WrestleMania that I've seen.
It was when you get like you get owned when the person is walking away and your only response is, "I had sex with your wife." She did the Seinfeld joke at the end. I was like, "Wait, what?" Like she was like, she had no response. So she's like, "Oh yeah, your boyfriend texted me. He's texting me. You fuck." What the fuck
and I
is it?
sent you guys the meme. It's probably the funniest meme I think I've seen this whole thing. Ludwig Kaiser is the one guy accused of cheating that nobody believes cheated on his girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that Kaiser used the clip of where Michaels
Michael, yeah.
turned down Diana Hartsman.
Yeah.
Do not flatter yourself. Like it's just that was gold.
This has been one of the biggest mistakes without a doubt. I don't know what the idea was with giving it to Charlotte. I don't know if maybe they just felt the star power would carry it.
Did you guys know that she was supposed to be the babyface in all this?
That's what I'm saying. I assume they backfired on them because they thought that she was going to get the treatment of like, oh, here comes the returning hero. Like she was injured, she's going to come back. They're going to, oh, she's back, yay. But they didn't, and it has only gotten worse since she's been back. Every time she comes out, apparently they boo her out of the fucking building.
Greco, I'm sorry to cut you off, Tony. Greco, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Would you have sympathy for somebody that's coming back as a babyface as they're cutting all their promos on a yacht?
No, walking onto a private jet with diamonds and glitter and glamour all over. No,
I have to hate you. I have to hate you.
Yeah. It's the same reason why everybody hated Flair in the 80s. Because Flair had what everybody wanted, you know?
She's such a moron. I never understood why she came back in the first place. No one cares. You're old.
It's true.
Our producer
laying it all on the line, ladies and gents.
Not wrong.
Let her have it.
I wish I could sit here and be like, Dominique, hey, you're all wrong. No, she's 100%.
She's not.
Right.
She's not wrong at all.
Can I say something?
What?
As a woman, you have a very short amount of time in the spotlight, and once you have 35, no one gives a shit.
Yeah, that's happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's to the point where I think because I was reading in the same article that the whole show about Triple H's storylines going nowhere was Becky Lynch was interviewed and she said, "Man, I'm done wrestling. Like she ain't even coming back. Like she has no desire to come back right now." So it's like she knew. Like wait, this is the thing, and I'm only going to say this once because I'm not going to make it a whole fucking thing. You like she said, you have a short window. It happens with guys all the time. Austin's window was what, a year?
4 years.
Yeah, well, it wasn't long. Hogan's was long. Cena's was long. Yeah, because Vince shoved them down your fucking throat until you couldn't stand it, right? But Austin it flames out quick. And I think what's happening is, from a Charlotte Flair standpoint, is I don't either she's tone deaf, doesn't know, or it's starting to set on her. It's like, oh shit, I'm not needed here anymore. Like I'm not needed here. They have so many now. There's so many talented workers here that. Like, I'm not the one who stands out from everybody anymore because now what I once was a big fish in a small pond. Now the fucking pond is a goddamn ocean.
It's an ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just swimming with a bunch of sharks now. And
you were the catfish in the pond. Now
I think they were. It's one of those things where they're paying
respect. In an ocean, it's a different thing. Yes.
Not just her dad, but she did pave the way for all of these women who are in now.
Okay,
so.
How many flowers you need?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The wrestlers don't get it until the very listen. I mean, Jake the Snake Roberts is basically on death's door, and he's still showing up at shows. I mean, when you're a wrestler, it doesn't end.
Oh my god! But see here, okay, Tony. But here's the question: you have Charlotte Flair return.
Yeah.
Could you not have her on a WrestleMania card? I'm gonna put it like this: would you be willing to put Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark before Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania? This is a question for both of you.
I guess no. Obviously, name recognition. You say no, right?
The logic, Malik, is you're 100% right. But there's just, I feel like there had to be another channel. Like there had to be another path.
There had to be another way. Yeah.
You could just have her be a commentator or a manager. You don't have to make her.
Also, too, when she came walking out looking like a skeleton wrapped in masking tape. Yeah. A lot of people are like, yo, what the fuck? She looks weird now. Like,
Also,
And now,
folks,
and not to be funny, you put her and again we're gonna go visually here, right? You're putting her in the ring with someone who visually is much more attractive than her.
I wouldn't even say that. It just
That's why I say that women have a very short window of their looks. No one cares once you have a single wrinkle. As hideous as that.
yeah. I also think that the fact that her personal life has a lot to do with it too now, because she's becoming kind of like the nature boy.
Yeah.
Going
Okay.
And she said herself, she said, I feel like I'm becoming my father with my divorces and my public, like everything in my life being public all the time. And I think that, she's cracking under all of this.
I think all three of you, that means producer included, are missing the biggest picture.
What's that?
Where does she find time to wrestle and tour to do concerts? If she could turn back time and find a way where you could believe in love, it's crazy to me.
He wanted to hit you with that
It's
shit.
crazy to me. You've never seen them in the same place.
Listen, that being said, I am not at all interested in that match. I mean, if that was your attempt to try to get people interested, whew.
I think the match you could have had, and you mentioned her before, and we've seen it before, so we know they can deliver and work together. I think you could have brought Becky back for this. And had Becky as the returning star. And Becky and Tiffany have had matches in NXT that were very good. I personally think that Becky put Tiffany on the map with their hardcore match, because it showed that this girl can get tough. Like, she always had the daddy's girl gimmick. They did this hardcore match between the two of them, and she was taking bumps. Like, she it wasn't pussyfooting. She was taking bumps on ladders. She was going off the top rope onto the floor. Like, it showed a different side to her, and I think that's when the fans started to warm up to her.
Yeah.
All right, I see what you're saying, but I feel like if we're gonna go with women's matches, I'm not gonna go to the main women's match on the card. I want to know how you guys felt about a tag team turmoil tournament to declare number one contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Are you fine with Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, because they just needed to put Bayley on the card to challenge, but Chelsea Green is just sitting in the dark doing nothing?
Every woman's match is a waste of time.
I couldn't agree more.
Amen.
I just wanted.
Amen. But
that's why.
Here's my big issue. My big issue is, like, you have all these belts, and like you just said, now ones that, like, where people probably would want to see Chelsea Green, because isn't she, like, kind of funny? Like,
Chelsea Green is great. She's over.
She's over, right? So, like, that to me, that would make more sense to put at least someone who's over on the show, instead of trying to get over these stupid tag titles. You barely care about male tag titles. Like, we barely care about those. Like, you're barely hanging on with those. You're trying to get that shit over. Sometimes I feel like you're just trying to make sure it's equally spaced out. We have this amount of women, this amount of men. They're all on the show. Everybody's happy. Shut the fuck up. I think sometimes you got to do that. And unfortunately, when you have to do that, Chelsea Green has to unfortunately be the unfortunate recipient of not getting a match at WrestleMania, because we have to make sure that these two dummies get on the show, because we have to make sure that this title gets showcased, because we're trying to make that like.
Here's a crazy idea. You don't have to do 7 of them on a pre-show, but you could throw a match on a pre-show. You have 3 hours to kill.
Yeah, very true. 100%.
Throw the men's tag on one, the women's tag on the other. This way you could say, well, we threw you on the pre-show, but it's not like we didn't throw the men's on there either.
But you know what? It's WrestleMania. A pre-show, it's still WrestleMania.
Right.
You're still in the arena with. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people already there.
What happened to the Andre Battle Royal? What happened to the Mae
Young, there was a lot of great concepts.
They changed it to Battle Royal.
Yeah, it was a lot of great concepts for WrestleMania that they took away. Hey, look, see, Rough Shot says Chelsea's an awesome performer. Like I said, some of these people where, like I said, they're taking back seats for just trash. But it's that happens how many times have we watched WrestleMania where you're like, how come this guy's not on it this year? Or how come this person's not on it this year?
No, which we said, like Malik just said before, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's not on the WrestleMania card. He main evented night 1 2 years ago. And it's not like he hasn't been performing. It's not like, bad story. It's just sometimes you're not going to make it. And that's where I think the 2-night, I understand you wanting to get as much out of it as you can because God only knows how much more money they get for doing a second night. Okay. But that's where you miss the 1-night spectacular show.
Yeah. It's an event now. It's too much because. No, it's 2 nights because they want more money. They're like, oh shit, we can do a second night and get another.
I think there's a lot that goes to it. That would be probably the number one reason.
Yeah.
I think another reason was, well, New Japan did it, so we'll do it. And also splitting it up. WrestleMania 35, let's remember, was how many hours again?
No.
Was it like 6 hours?
32. 32, I think, was over 7 hours long because we were there in Dallas.
Okay.
That had to be so uncomfortable for you guys.
It was painful.
So work.
No, but I also remember the one at MetLife was very long, where people could barely even almost make it home.
Yeah, because the train stopped running.
I'm gonna tell you something wild, and I swear this to you on the Lord above. I have not once watched the last match from WrestleMania 32, which is Roman Triple H, which I'm sure was probably good enough of a match. I have not watched it because I cannot get through my mind that we were sitting there that entire time.
Yeah. I didn't pay attention to that match at all at the end because I was like, "Oh, what the fuck! I get the hell out of here at this point." Yeah. And I do remember if you want any notes from that match, it was basically just like Triple H and Batista.
Yes.
From what I remember, it was very much like that, Roman and Triple H.
I know Stephanie went through the table. That's what I remember. Stephanie went through a table.
Was that when Shane got tossed off Hell in the Cell? Right.
Yes.
That was when that. Okay. Yeah. I'm fucking crazy. Oh my goodness! Hey, wait, listen. If you've never been to a WrestleMania, you should go, regardless 100%. Of, because it just the atmosphere, the feeling, that fucking convention thing they do that you can go to and meet all the wrestlers and get the merch and shit. That was pretty cool.
I like to think we went to WrestleMania when we could afford it at the time. Not saying that we can't right now. It's just prices are really ridiculous.
Yes.
They start at $1,400. That's what it's starting at. Yeah.
I got a guy that's going. I know someone's going. A friend Joe of mine. He said it's cheaper to actually do the package through WWE.
That's crazy.
Than to do everything separately.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
they have like this thing, like it's like a bar that you can go and watch WrestleMania. It's like a what are those called? Like an IMAX.
So there's 3 of them. I think there's one either in Vegas or California. There's one in Dallas, and I think there's one in Philly. And it's like the full screen. It's like you're sitting in the Sphere watching WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's the new wave. That's more places like that are going to open up, I believe.
WWE found a way to just do so many different things. They have after WrestleManias type deal. They've incorporated themselves with GCW and TNA and other promotions for the WWE ID. There's so much going on.
Do you think they're going to regret the after parties because people are going to get into trouble?
Probably.
Can we already see the mistake we made by having this guy do commentary the other night that's doing the roast on Sunday?
Oh,
what did he do? I didn't get to watch Raw last week.
Okay, so Tony Hinchcliffe is he's got a obviously I don't know, you obviously know about Kill Tony. That's his show on YouTube. It blew up. It's millions of people watch it. He sold out the Garden 2 nights in a row with it. So it's a major show. He's like the new roast guy. So he's like that other guy was Ross, whatever his name was. So he's gonna host Jeff Ross. Thank you very much. He's gonna host the roast of WrestleMania. So they brought him on. What really shocked me was seeing Bert fucking Kreischer on Raw. That where I was just like, what are we doing here? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
but at least Bert Kreischer did like the typical celebrity thing, and they didn't do nothing with him in the ring until after Raw. So I didn't.
No, yeah.
Wait a second, I'm about to go. How many celebrities get to choke slam aside from Jelly Roll? That's all.
That's what it was. Bert Kreischer was like, I want to do a Jelly Roll, dude. And then he just went in there and did exactly what Jelly Roll did.
But
Hinchcliffe, it was cringy.
Yeah,
like he was trying to roast Michael Cole, but while still keeping it, a family friendly. Like he wasn't gonna say anything like obscene, but he was, trying to roast Michael Cole with his age, and because I assume they gave him parameters. They're like, listen,
Right.
don't go crazy. Just this is what you can say. You can take shots at him, but don't fucking,
And then he took a shot at Big E and Big E's neck or something that apparently.
Yeah, what was that? I still don't know
he
what.
basically just said they did something the New Day did because he was basically healing it up. So he was basically like, oh look, the New Day just did that. They did a move to somebody, and they were like, oh, he was like, oh, that's stiffer than Big E's neck, like that guy. And he was just taking like silly dumb shots, just trying to be a heel, but like it was very cringy because it was like I said, you could tell he was clearly given notes. Like he was clearly given like what he can and cannot say, and he was making sure he stuck to it. Because Tony Hinchcliffe he's a giant WWF fan, WWE fan, almost was a writer for them, but didn't want to move to Connecticut. So like they have a relationship with him, and that's, I assume, making him the host of the roast of WrestleMania, which I'm sure would be funny. We're gonna have actual comedians on it. And the comedians are probably going to, like most of them are wrestling fans, so they're probably going to put forth a correct effort, make you laugh. But shit like that, where you're bogged down as a comedian, where you can't say certain things because it's like very family friendly, you can tell like that was the problem. I know who they are, but like again, this goes back to my thing with Raw too, where it's like, why are you showing me third, fourth rate actors because they're on Netflix? I don't care. Stop showing me Kieran Culkin. I don't care. I don't care about these people sitting in the crowd. Stop showing me them. Stop. It's enough.
Just real quick before we get back to wrestling stuff, Hall of Fame tickets at one point were $250. They're now selling for $100 because nobody was buying them.
Nobody wants to go to a fucking Hall of Fame. Who the fuck wants to go? Nothing's happening. You're gonna see Triple H maybe come out, cut a good speech. Remember when
that's
Jeff
crazy.
But now we're speaking.
I do.
We're speaking about actors and wrestling and stuff. There is one match I'm really looking forward to, which I think might be match of the weekend. That's AJ and Logan Paul.
That should be good.
That's still a nothing happening story for me.
My issue, and I know it's storyline stuff when they take these shots at Logan Paul, but they're not wrong. Logan Paul he's just a spot monkey. Okay. Like even when he cut his promo, I watched. I don't know if it was this past Raw when he came out and he was talking about how he's humble and he was trying to get that new theme song over that he came out to, and he's just trying to like be like this. He's like really trying, and at first when he wasn't trying, it was good. But now that he's trying, you can see that he's trying. You can see like, oh fuck, now you're trying. You just be you.
Just be a dick.
You're already an asshole.
Yes,
you're already an asshole. People don't like you already. You don't have to.
Think, like Hogan, his outside politics, shall I say, is what's obviously the issue. And people are just like, and if you start digging up dirt about his past, more people start to. But between my roommate and one of my close friends' sons, right there, are just like now going. I don't know if is he wrestling on WrestleMania Sunday or Saturday? Which
that is on Sunday.
Yep, I can already feel the room with all the tension for that man.
Yeah,
that's going to be a fun time for me.
That's interesting. I mean, it should be a good match. I'm interested to see. Is LA Knight fighting?
Yeah, he's fighting Jacob Fatu night one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say what I did read about the whole AJ Logan Paul thing is basically what happened was AJ was supposed to face Braun Breaker. Again, a story that was started.
That was another one.
Cut off.
Yeah.
But apparently, like in production meetings, they were all talking like, what do we do with Logan Paul? Like, we want to give him a match. Personal feelings aside, the guy is entertaining. He brings in a different kind of crowd that you may not necessarily get. And they basically said AJ stepped up and was like, I'll do it. Like, I'll do whatever you want.
I mean, that's not a bad match. I mean, all you got to do is make sure Logan doesn't fucking botch or don't do anything stupid. Logan has very good athleticism, so he won't.
I'm okay with him bringing out the brass knuckles and doing that whole spiel. I don't need 400 different guys from YouTube that I don't know. I'm 41 years old. I don't know who I Show Speed and Kai Kanent and all these other guys are. I'm sorry. I'm
I'm glad you brought that up because another thing it really chaps my ass is when Triple H tries to be cool with these people and he tries to like be hip and it's like, dude, You're fucking in your late 50s, man. You're
Right,
pushing
that's what I'm
60. Come on.
saying.
Like, enough with the, I show speed. You're in the Rumble, man. Come on, we need you, dude. Like, enough, man. Like, enough of this bullshit. Like, there's just certain things. Yes,
Tony,
absolutely.
Tony, I am with you on that. But
I
I'm
can
also seeing, but we
both
both understand also that on the flip side of it is to get more viewers to watch this product.
I know. That's why my
No,
wife just said that. Is to get a whole
I
new
get it.
audience.
No,
So
I
so
do
I'm
get it.
with you 100% as the purest of a wrestling fan. Like, this is not what I want.
Yeah, it's so fucking annoying. Like I show speed takes off the prime thing, or was it KSI? Who the fuck? First off, why
I
is
don't
everybody
know
got
who these-
initials? I don't know who these people are. Why
I
are
don't
you
know.
all letters? Why? Why is it all letters? I don't understand it. And like I said, it goes back to Monday Night Raw where they showed John Malloy from some weird Netflix show, and he stands up and he goes like this, and even the fucking crowd is like, "Who's this guy? Like, who are you showing right now? Like, who the
Well,
fuck
they
is?"
showed the dude from Baby Reindeer, which actually is not a bad.
That's
series.
what I'm saying. Like,
But I was like, nobody's
gonna
gonna
show
know
you-
this guy.
I'm gonna show you one guy who's ever been able to pull something off where they've had some kind of weird name or something that just didn't fit. You ready?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prince, the artist.
Goated.
Okay.
Goated.
That's it.
I'm not gonna argue there. Come on.
That's the only guy for me that's ever been able to get away with
The
something
easy
like
door, the easy passage to my heart. Boom. That's it.
For real, man.
That's it.
Oh.
Okay. Otherwise than that, I don't care about any of these other buffoons. All right.
The greatest man to put on high heels. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a fact, right?
Thank you, Tristan. And I mentioned Braun Breakout. Am I the only one thinking Dominic might walk out of WrestleMania?
I hope he does. I hope he does.
Dominic Mysterio he's a great heel. See, my wife doesn't want to admit that.
I get it.
Mine's the same. Mine's 3 rooms away. She's the same thing. I get it.
My wife, I say to her, you know, you're like a mark because you're into it, and then she gets mad at me because she thinks that the word mark is like a negative term. So she's like, I'm not a fucking mark. He sucks. I go, I get it. Trust me, he's annoying. It's the point. It's working. It's fantastic.
He
So
does his job well.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, we just talked about them a little while ago, but would you put Aleister Black in the Judgment Day, or would you just ride? Like, how would you because him and Rusev have to work in some way? How do you work them in?
I would not put him in because I feel like the Judgment Day is now coming to its end.
It has to be at this point.
It's coming to its end.
Yeah.
And
What's upsetting is I think the perfect way you could have brought Black back is if you had something really good going on with Cross right now.
Yeah.
And you had him still as the psycho killer, like that you had him as an XT, and that would have been because those promos would have been great.
that's a next night after Mania. That's a night after Mania. That's a Raw after Mania story that you could just have program right there, Greco. Right there.
And Cross it's Cross and AJ time. They said Cross has gone back to his old entrance and everything. So maybe, they're trying to do something with him now.
I really like Karrion Kross, so I hope
I do
they do
too.
something. I would like to see more stuff from him. I like that he's interrupting people. He's cutting these interesting promos where he's like kind of like calling shots, kind of saying like, "Oh, this is going to happen," and then it winds up happening. I also know somebody pointed this out, and I was like, once they pointed, I was like, "Holy shit, he's right." Is he copies the hairstyle?
The hairstyle,
Everybody
yeah.
that he fucking-
Yep.
Yeah, so like right now he's got that fucking soccer mom AJ cut because he's fucking with AJ Styles right now.
When he's with Sammy, he had the man bun going.
Yeah, we had the man bun who was
Yes.
fucking around with somebody else. His hair was always matching them. He's trying to fucking get with that, trying to get in their head. It's a pretty interesting take. I like that little nuance that he's doing.
I wish they'd bring it up about the Karrion Kross effect that everyone he interacts with, like soon after, goes heel or like their whole mindset changes, and they never really like dig into that.
Yeah, they should, and I think they might. And these guys now, like him, like you could tell, like a lot of people, like why is this guy on Raw? Because Triple H is just dropping seeds. That's going to be his guy soon.
Yep.
I don't think anybody realized that because
I
them
agree.
two, like Triple H and Karrion Kross, are very close. And I just have a feeling Triple H is like, stick around, do this, do this little promo here, and eventually it's gonna pay off. Just same thing with Chad Gable. This Grande Americano thing is fucking hilarious, and it's only a matter of time before he's wearing the Intercontinental title. Like, I just hope everybody understands that, because
They
I
should tonight make it mask for mask at Mania.
That is funny. I would do that. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Chad should lose and still deny that it was him.
That was
That's my twin brother. That's my twin brother, Thad Gable.
do the like the Deadpool. Have like another face like taped on under.
Yeah, like a yeah, yeah, exactly.
The women's world title triple threat, is that a Sunday night main event?
Yes, that is on Sunday.
Okay.
It should have been a one-on-one match, in my opinion. You should have just gave everybody Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, the match that you never got on the main roster, the match that only happened one time on NXT. Instead, you threw an EO. And part of me feels that
I think they fucked that whole thing up in general, because I think Bianca Belair should have been the heel that attacked Jade. And I think because Triple H wanted to throw everybody off of the scent, they just made it Naomi. I think because he didn't want the internet wrestling community to be right. He didn't want to seem predictable.
How many other Japanese wrestlers are on this card?
Exactly.
Is it just Io, right?
Just Io.
To me, it was a representation thing, in my opinion.
Okay, so you know what you could have did? You could have had at least Io and what's her name?
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
No, you could have had Io and Dakota take on Liv and Raquel, because at least Io and Dakota are a tag team at times, and
yeah,
that could have at least you did something with them. Instead, you give Bayley this random match with someone she was just feuding with a week ago,
who is a champion,
who's
not defending the title.
Well, let me get this straight. So you team up Bayley with a champion to go after championships.
Yes.
Who she lost to on Monday.
Who she lost to a week ago.
And they did a clean sweep. They beat every team there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even the legitimate tag teams that were in that match.
And I'm gonna throw something crazy at you. I have a little thing, what I would have done, okay? Because I agree with this whole. It should have been Bianca and Rhea. And what you should have did was you should have had Jade and Naomi, and I would have Jade just house her, like absolutely beat her pillar post, just beating her down. Even if you have to, you do a little blood, okay? And just as like Jade's about to do something really sick with me, like really fucking nasty to her, you have Naomi scream, "It wasn't me, it was Bianca."
That's what I'm saying. You got to do something, because
And
the way
then
they
you have Bianca come out on Raw on Monday or SmackDown on Friday, celebrating, going crazy, all the balloons, the hype, and Jade come out, and now we find out what really happened.
I because at least that would make the story make sense, because the way they presented it, where this one was just crimes, like, I can't fuck with you no more. I can't believe you did this. It was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? What is this? This makes no sense.
Yeah. I will say about Io, the one thing I give Io, and I've said it to you guys, I said it to Pon, I said it to everybody. Io has become the one wrestler that has gotten over the language barrier issue that a lot of wrestlers have.
She can't say more than a sentence.
Right, which is exactly why her popularity being what it is so impressive, because nobody else ever gets this far. Like, she is constantly over.
If I may, and I mean this,
poor Asuka.
I mean this with all, I mean this with all due respect. With all due respect, I mean this. Okay. I'm not saying that people laugh at her, but when she starts with that WWE champion, right? They all kind of laugh. The crowd laughs. It's like a joke to them. The same thing. It's the same thing with when Asuka would grab the mic and do the Japanese gibberish, screaming, and everybody would kind of laugh. That's why it's like I'm not saying it to be an asshole.
No, you're not wrong. You're not.
When it comes to pro wrestling, when they start to laugh, they start to embrace you. That's just the way it works. As soon as they start laughing,
you're not wrong. But okay, and those are the perfect two reasons, because I'll give you the other one of those two, the third one of that, which is Kairi Sane. And the crowd never really embraced her the same, even though she might be the most athletic.
Well, because she just comes out with an umbrella and doesn't scream the Japanese gibberish like Asuka and now Io Sky. And that's what I'm saying. They listen. Santino Marella would come out and put a fucking sock on his hand, right? But because he would do all the Italian shit, everybody laughed and embraced it. It's not a bad thing. It's just sometimes that's what happens.
I'll give you another one. Shinsuke. Shinsuke that first year, as great as he was in the ring, no one cared. All they thought of was an entrance. The greatest thing I saw from Shinsuke is when Renee Dupree, whatever she was then, Renee Paquette, whatever, asked him a question. He looks at her and goes, "No speaky English."
And then that's what I'm saying. See?
And then they fumbled. The Vince fumble happened right after that because he didn't know what to do.
Vince doesn't get certain things.
I'm kind of glad you brought up Nakamura. They brought him back in November with a brand new gimmick. He was around for at least 2 shows of the European tour, and I guess he's done. It's just so weird to have that character change, give him that push, throw a championship on him, and it's over.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. I guess that was their kind way of saying thank you on the way out. The door's always open.
I could also see it being like, let's put a fresh coat of paint on him. Let's throw the U.S. title on him. Let's see if it does anything. Let's see if it garners some steam, attention. Let's see if we can get some good matches out of it, some maybe some good stories out of it. And again, when you listen, he's been there for how long now? He's been in WWE for a while now.
For almost a decade. Almost a decade.
Yeah. Almost
a decade. So he's been able to stay around. He's won the Rumble, right? He's won the Rumble once, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's had some success in WWE. He's won titles.
Defeated John Cena and Randy Orton.
Defeated John Cena and Randy Orton. Same year. So, like, to me, he's had a pretty good run considering the language barrier and everything like that. That's Penta. That was Penta. Yeah. Penta's another one. He's going to have, people love him right now. But when it comes time to really start speaking and doing promos and storylines and feuds, and that's when he's going to start to be a little shaky. And
just go get Alejandro or whatever his name was, the guy that was with him in AEW.
Oh, that dumb guy. Yeah, they probably will wind up doing that at some point.
But that's not a bad thing.
Managers are a lost art. So I love managers. So if you bring a manager in, I'm all in on it.
Are you talking about Alex? Wait a minute. Wait.
He called John Moxley for Nate Dupree.
No, he was. Oh my god, which is hilarious. This is why I didn't say anything. Oh my god!
What was her name?
Renee Paquette is the current name, but oh my god, I can't even remember because it's just it's so funny that you said it the way you did. I was just like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just let him live.
Renee Dupree was one half of La
Yes, and he's a Fritz Stickler. Oh my god! What other matches are on the card that we have not discussed yet?
There's really, I mean,
I got them all here.
I'm surprised there's no ladder match. There's no.
That's what I'm saying. I thought at least for the tag titles. I thought.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What's your question, again? That's not bad, but I like. You know what it is? I think some people don't want to read promos. I would. This is what when I tell guys like Felix and some Spanish guys on the East Coast here. I always tell them, "What's your first language?" And a lot of times they say Spanish, right? So I always tell them to just kind of go back and forth. Say what you need to say that's comfortable in Spanish, but then add some English flair so that the English audience can at least understand what's going on, right? Yeah. So I think they're trying to do that. But the problem is with Japanese, it's rough. It's rough because they can't pronounce certain letters, and then, like I said, once you start laughing, it doesn't matter at that point.
Like that idiot girl, the goth bitch on was it NXT?
Which goth bitch? There's so many now, babe. Oh, Viviker.
Hey.
Oh yeah, she sounds. Yeah. I will come out and fight to next week. Like that kind of stuff. Yeah. I did laugh when what's a face, the Japanese girl comes out and she goes
Julia
rematch and then just walks away, and it's just it's hard to take you seriously. I'm just saying, it's like
By the way,
I
speaking
went
of
to
NXT,
Japan, I would want to learn the language so that I could cut the promo in their language.
right? Not to be funny, like Kenny Omega does. Kenny Omega can cut a full
That's
promo
how
in
it should be.
Japanese. Yes.
So that you like. Because here's the thing, and again, once you speak the language of the people can relate to you easier. They understand what you're saying now. They get what how you're presenting it, and now they can say, "Oh, I can now." Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I know all of these people are learning English, and I know it's a process. Any language you learn, but that to me, I've always said this. That halts the growth of your career in the American wrestling.
Agreed.
Because the WWE wants to put a belt on you. Now, don't get me wrong; they put the belt on Vakur. I get it, and they put the belt on Shinsuke and all these. Io Sky. Io Sky is your current women's champion, right? But like, I can't send Io Sky to Conan O'Brien or Jimmy Fallon, whoever the fuck. I can't send her there to then promote the company or the WrestleMania, for instance. We have to send Rhea Ripley. We have to send Bianca Belair because they can go and represent the company the way we need it represented.
It goes back to what Malik said. How many other Japanese wrestlers are on the show on this weekend?
And representation matters.
I agree, and I don't mind Io Sky being involved, but
I want representation, like representing their country. So if you're gonna speak either fully Japanese and get subtitles, or like it's kind of sad to see Shield say like rematch and stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, which is why we also have our African American WWE champion Cody Raheem Rhodes. So I wanted to do something a little different because I know that next week when we come back to do the show, it would be very interesting. I'd like the producer to kind of be ready for this. I wish I had a pen and paper with me right now for this idea. So I want to know if she. You can keep a scorecard. All right, Greco is going to read off each match, and we will predict who the winner will be for each one. So read off the first one for night one.
So we're gonna go night one. All right, this is the matches that I've seen. Jay versus Gunther.
All right, Jey Uso's my pick. Tony.
I'm gonna all right. So obviously I'm gonna say Jey Uso because the way they're putting the machine behind him right now in the story, I would say Jey Uso, but it would not shock me if it's Gunther. But put me down as Jey Uso. I'll say Jey Uso.
Okay.
I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go Gunther.
All right. Like I said, it wouldn't shock me.
I think Jay is gonna win, but I think Jay the machine. But I agree. Jade versus Naomi.
Jade. There's not
I'm going Naomi.
Really?
Okay.
I'm going Naomi.
Underhanded tactics to win? Do you think it's like a cheat win?
Why the hell not?
Yeah. Raiders, New Day.
New Day. Yeah, New Day.
I agree. We're all in agreement. Okay, we're all in agreement there. Would either of you be shocked if we get a Big E appearance and Big E cost them the match?
No, actually, because
that wouldn't shock me.
It would be a hell of a Mania moment for him to come back. Even.
Okay. Yeah. Ray versus El Grande.
Rey Mysterio.
I'm gonna say El Grande.
Okay. I'm gonna go El Grande also.
I firmly believe they threw that on WrestleMania because the El Grande Americano thing made the entire production team laugh. I guarantee you.
Yeah, 100%. It makes everybody laugh. When they said that, listen, again, political stuff aside, because we don't do that on this show. When they said he was from the Gulf of America, I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
Okay. Just the pure, whoever thought of that, it was just like, all right, this is good.
What got me was it's literally Chad Gable singlet with some fringe. Like literally, it's all it is, and that's what made me laugh.
And him coming out to the Lex Luger song, just like a Spanish thing too.
Yeah, just a Spanish.
LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
You know something? I'm having a hard time believing that Jacob Fatu is going to win it, only because there's that potential somebody costing him inadvertently the match. But I'm going to say Jacob Fatu.
Okay,
I'm gonna go LA Knight because Solo Sikoa fucked him, and that's gonna be the official end of that little group.
I agree, and that's what's going to lead to Solo versus Fatu
Jacob.
now. Like,
Yeah.
I think they were going for that, and just didn't have enough time, so they're prolonging it a little bit.
Yeah.
Tiffy and Charlotte.
I'm going to say Tiffany.
Can I say NBC?
Flip a coin.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
You can put me down as NBC, but if you put a gun to my head, I would just say keep the belt on Tiffany Stratton.
All right, we're all in agreement on that one. Seth Roman Punk.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I feel that no matter what, Rollins should win.
Agreed.
I think Rollins is going to win because of Heyman. Now, is it going to be like? Is it going to be intentional? Does he join Seth, or is it inadvertent because he gets caught up between Roman and Punk? I think Heyman gets involved, Seth gets the W. That's what I think.
Okay, so we're all in agreement there. All right, night 2. Bailey and Valkyrie versus Liv and Raquel.
Liv and Raquel retain.
I agree.
All right, good. Nobody's talking. That's a real NBC one. Priest and McIntyre.
McIntyre.
I would. If it was me booking, I would definitely book.
If Priest beats McIntyre again, what the hell does Drew do?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. McIntyre definitely has to get this W.
Yeah, how many L's you can keep taking from this man? You beat me. You cashed in for the title last year. You beat me on whatever out of states show. You eliminate me from the Rumble. You eliminated me from the Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre has the win.
He's got to get the W.
Agree. Braun, Dom, Finn, and Penta.
My mind is saying Braun is going to retain. My brain wants Dominic to win. I'm going to say Braun Breaker.
Okay.
I'm going to say Dom Mysterio because I think Finn Balor's going to just be like, what the fuck? He's going to be like, it's going to be the complete end of the Judgment Day.
Oh, if he winds up pinning Finn, it would be crazy.
Yeah, because
that's what I think is going to happen. I'm with Tony on that one.
Oh, so you're with Dom? You're Dom Mysterio?
I'm going with Dom also.
I think Penta's too soon. I don't want to put the belt on Penta. And I see Finn Balor and Dom feuding.
I feel like
I think
Penta's first title will be a tag title with his brother. My eyes.
I agree.
I think we get the spot where the three of them do something to Braun. They take him out, put him through a table or something. Yeah. I think, Finn has it lined up to beat Penta and just fucking Dom, or Penta has it lined up to beat Finn and Dom tosses him out of the ring.
I'm thinking, the sacrifice Mexican destroyer. He's got him bit and Dom just tosses him. Yep. Just stares at Finn, and it's like that moment of, fuck it, I'm going for it, and he pins Finn, and he gets the W, and then on Raw the next day, it's going to be complete explosion of the Judgment.
Yeah. AJ versus Paul.
AJ Styles.
I'm going to go with AJ Styles as well.
I'm going to go with Logan Paul.
Wow, look at this. With this, that's two is split right down. My wife just voted Logan Paul as well.
I think Logan Paul because he hasn't won a big match in a while.
Yeah. Neither has AJ. What?
Well, AJ,
what are we doing? Logan Paul. To be fair, AJ needs something.
Okay, I will say, should Gunther keep the title, and AJ beat Paul, I think AJ's next for Gunther.
That'd be a good match.
That's if he has the title. That would be cool.
That's where you can go with that. Io, Ripley, and Bianca.
Bianca, she's on her way to becoming the new Undertaker, even though she's lost at a WrestleMania, but we don't count that, right? I'm going with Bianca.
Same.
Nobody cares, Dave?
Pretty much NBC, but if you had to put a gun to my head, I would say Bianca Belair.
Okay. Rhea Ripley does not get. There's no need for her to get the title back after already losing it.
Yeah.
And the big one, Cody versus Cena.
Cena.
Now you know where my heart lies. You know where my heart lies.
Muscle, loyalty, respect.
By the way, you saw the new merch. The moment Pun sent me his Vegas gear, already bought. The hat's already on its way. Which annoys me is that the rest of it is not on the way.
That's sick.
I've spent so much. I don't even want to tell you how much money I've spent on merch from WWE this year alone. Like, at this point, they should be inviting me to fucking shows.
Yeah.
That's how I fucking feel.
Well,
But
at this point, you should be the last wish that John Cena grants.
it's only fair. And I'm not even sick.
We don't knock Make-A-Wish kids, all right?
I'm not even sick, but at this point,
Some of us are survivors, all right?
I'm telling you, John Cena's gonna be like, listen, I got one more in me, and they turn around and go, listen, this guy in New York, he has bought every piece of your merch for the last decade. You got to go say hello.
I believe Cody retains that championship.
Wow, really?
Wow, this puts me in a spot. This puts me in a spot. I don't know about this one.
It's so difficult because it's like we've been running with the story that John hasn't won a match in X amount of years, and when he finally does, it's a big one. It was based off of a man's hatred for another man, so he just went and stole the win. I would love for John Cena to win, but I don't think they're going to give it to him.
I just think that it would be great if Cena wins, and then it's basically a mad scramble chase to try to get that belt back before December.
Can't we just only have the Cena Cody match and nothing else?
that there's no chance that's happening.
That's a lot of hours of WrestleMania.
We're getting about 46 different appearances in that match.
I want you to know something. If you watch John Cena, if it's just John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, it'd be about 3 minutes before you'd be like, well, John Cena just ran through his entire repertoire.
I'm gonna agree with Malik on this one because I agree. The mad scramble then to get Cena the title.
Yeah, it's mad, yeah.
Do you know how crazy the finish could be if he had him in the crossroads, went to spin, and Cena countered out of it, attitude adjustment, 1, 2, 3? You know how crazy that would be?
Yeah.
Because I've already seen it in my head.
Now, let me ask you this question. Are we going to get run-ins and distractions? Yes. Obviously, it's going to happen.
Man, I can't wait for Travis Scott to run in and catch a lick, get his lick, and Cody get his lick back.
Now, I have one big question. I would assume, and you just literally set me up here. Thank you for the meatball over the plate. Do we finally get Stone Cold Steve Austin? Because I know you guys are like me. Last year in Philly, that shouldn't have been The Rock, Undertaker. That should have been Stone Cold Steve Austin coming to the ring to make the save.
Seeing the fact that he's there, I don't see why not. But is it guaranteed that The Rock will be appearing this weekend? We don't know.
Because I just want to see The Rock and Austin face to face one last time.
Greco, whatever you do not lose that paper.
No, I won't. Don't worry.
Well, my lovely wife also wrote it all down. So
thank you both. Appreciate y'all.
It's not very good. You know what that's called? A dollar sign. Okay. And after last year, Stone Cold said, "Show me the money." All right.
Yeah, for real. I mean, he's like, "What?"
I feel like they try to reel him in though. It was like, you know what? We're coming out with this new thing where we induct matches. You guys first. Now, how about coming into this story? Like, you know?
But you know what? And this may be biased because I love Bret Hart and I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. But if you're going to induct matches, that is the first match that I would induct into the Hall of Fame, considering it was the greatest double switch of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what better double switch than that?
I Malik can too, because he's as big as an HBK person as I am. And it's very easy to talk about the Iron Man match. Okay.
Yes.
The Iron Man match, first of all, isn't even my number one Sean match for Mania. Taker and him at 25.
Yeah.
Taker and him at 25.
I put that up there with him and Angle, because that was obviously a hell of a match.
I was just going to say, him and Angle is incredible. Yeah. Austin Brett is probably not only just like because of like the double switch, just the whole like unfolding of the match.
Yeah. That whole feud was great. A lot of people don't like that the credit it deserves. It was what brought Brett back out of retirement in '96.
You know what the only issue is to that? I'm sorry to cut you off, Tony. Is their last match ended in DQ and they never had another match again. Yeah. Other than that, yes, I totally agree with all you said.
Yeah, it was great, and I didn't know they were putting matches into the Hall of Fame. Okay, it's just this is where it is now. They look at the roster of people that are on, like, well, who can we put in the Hall of Fame? And they look and they're like, Coco Beware. Do we really want to put Coco in?
He's already in though.
Right? I'm using him as an example. All right, this is where they are. They're looking at this list now, and they're like, oh fuck. Do you want to put this guy in?
Who are Who are the three that they're going into the legacy? It's the Funk's father, Ivan Koloff, who I did not know was not already in as a former
and
champion,
somebody decent.
and Kamala.
Come on.
The one that threw me off was the Natural Disasters and not Demolition.
Right, because Demolition just signed the Legends deal.
I think they're going to hold that off to next year, probably.
Well, there's only but so many days Axe has left.
Yeah.
This guy, I mean,
I'll tell you then the most upsetting one for me this year, especially now because he's gone, Sid.
Sid Justice, Sid Vicious. Yeah, he should have went in too.
Sid, I feel like they've missed such an. When you go back and look at Sid, we're gonna save Sid for another day. But my God, what an amazing fucking wrestling person that ever was.
Sid, let me tell you something. Sid is the only man I know in the history of the wrestling business that would take pay-per-views off to go play softball.
Yeah, that's why.
I know. Yeah,
we're gonna make you Hulk Hogan. We're gonna make you bigger than Hulk Hogan. I got a softball game on Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yo, bud, we're gonna turn you into Hulk Hogan. Hulkamania be damned. It's Sid Justice Mania. And he turns around and goes, as long as it's not through the months of April to June, because big softball tournament coming up. Gotta get it in. It's just
this guy is one of the guys that before the Attitude Era started defeated Shawn and Brett in back-to-back shows.
Yeah,
and doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
They booed Hogan when he pulled Sid out of the ring.
Yeah.
At Rumble 92. Yeah. They boo Hogan.
You kind of tell right then and there that Hulkamania was kind of coming to an end when they're doing Sid Justice. Now, listen, Vince wasn't wrong. They were booing Hogan for Sid. And that's why they were like, we want to turn you into the next Hogan. And he just didn't get it. He didn't give up. I like being a heel, is what he said to them.
Yeah. Speaking of heel things, and I want to see how it plays out, because I'm sure if it's being done, it could be kept quiet. And I guess we can talk about the other show for a couple of minutes if you guys want, real quick.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah,
so
we'll
this whole thing of AEW possibly not allowing Sting to induct Lex Luger is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Is a joke. Because no matter what's happened, no matter how Tony Khan feels or whatever, Sting isn't an AEW guy. And he's not a WWE guy. But at the end of the day, Lex Luger is his friend.
He's WCW. He brought Lex Luger into WCW in the mid-'90s. He was the one who brokered it between Bischoff. Yes. He stayed with Luger the whole time through WCW, helped Luger get saved to find Jesus, right? Sting, to me, is the only guy that should be inducting Lex Luger into the Hall of Fame. And if Tony Khan is being a little pissant and not letting him do it, then, again, it just goes to show you, just turn on JD from New York's video. I don't have to scream it, okay? That guy did a pretty good fucking job of it, okay? The Tony Khan is a stupid mark, a wrestling mark, who is sad and angry that his company is a laughingstock at this point. I mean, and is just a little fucking petulant child. And is like literally doing dumb, petty shit like this. Like, come on, dude. It's one night. Sting's going to go out there and just induct his fucking friend. And have you seen what Sting looks like nowadays? He's still wearing face paint with a giant gray goatee. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Stop with the fucking...
Well, he actually said he's coming up on finishing any signings where he wears face paint.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, good. Yeah, because I got to be done with that shit, man. Come on.
Yeah.
He got probably tired of dyeing his hair as well. It's like, I'm old man Sting. This is what it is.
Yeah, this is what it is at this point.
He's looking more and more. Once he shaves off the facial hair, he's going to look more and more like Clint Eastwood. I'm telling you.
And like, I get having DDP up there, like especially DDP's helped them, like standing and walking and all that stuff. But there's no reason not to have Sting there. And you know what? Hey, Tony, we'll make you happy. We'll put up your little graphic AEW Hall of Fame or whatever you want to call it.
No, you know what they want to do?
They're not going to do all that.
They should be like this. Listen. All right, listen. You send Sting. We'll put a graphic for Collision. Put it up. All right, listen. They can watch it if they want. We'll put it up. We'll even air it. We'll even air a commercial during the Hall of Fame. But give us Sting. Like, I mean, come on.
And then let's go from bad to fucking worst. How do you have someone vomiting in a ring?
Oh,
what the
vomiting?
So
So Hook.
Hook-
I think what happens is right before they do a spot where Claudio does the neutralizer onto an open chair to Hook. Okay, it looks like Claudio like goes to step into the punch, and I could be wrong on the spot, and Claudio catches him.
All right.
Hook is laying on the floor in the fetal position, throwing up.
Mm-hmm. Not once, but twice.
Twice. And instead of somebody coming over and just like, okay, let's not do this spot, just put your foot on him and cut off, like that's it. No. Claudio then does this spot.
Jesus Christ.
So Greco, here are one of my favorite things to that. One, the chair wasn't open like how Michaels took a sidewalk slam through a chair. It was basically laid down where the legs are up and your gut goes right over the chair with it exposed like that. But here's one of my favorite things. Earlier in the show, Pat did something with his leg after taking a buckle bomb.
Yes.
Oh, he hurt his knee.
He hurt his leg,
So,
I think. Yes.
To finish the match as quickly as they could, the doctor checked on him on the floor. He got back in the ring, got super kicked, and he took Swerve's finish. They checked on somebody there where it was important. You didn't see this man vomit in 2 different spots to come check on him and be like, no. And he's cleared to wrestle this week, which is crazy to me. They said he may have had a concussion is what it was.
That's what that normally is.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. Throws you off.
I would tell him, listen, Hook, next 2 weeks, don't even think about getting into a ring.
No. What the fuck's going on? No.
I don't get it. I don't
get it. Either he got concussed or he partied a little too hard and was throwing up some shit. Maybe.
Or Papa Shango got him. I don't know.
Papa Shango. Oh, no. No, not Papa Shango. Do you want to get to some chats before we roll out of here?
Sure.
All right. Now, listen. What was is Heyman leaning towards Seth part of Punk's game plan? I don't think so. I think I don't get the game plan. I don't understand why Punk needs to have him at ringside with him. I think it's just like a mind game that he's trying to play on everybody.
I think it all plays back to things that were said years ago that Heyman told him, you're going to main event WrestleMania, and I will be there by your side. So I think that's just played back to something that was said over a decade ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I listen. I don't think it's part of Seth's plan, but Punk's plan. But I think now, like the whole thing with Seth's, like now you owe me a favor. I think it's going to come back to that's going to play a part, and I think it's going to be something where it might not be intentional, but Paul Heyman is going to help Seth Rollins win that match. Jay wins. Gunther comes back as Walter and beats Jay, and the True Ring General returns. You know, you guys make me laugh about the names. Who cares?
Yeah.
There was a guy. His name is Triple H, not HHH, not Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That says Triple H. That's his name. There's the Undertaker. The Undertaker. That was so when he filled out a fucking W-2, he wrote in the first name and then the last name Undertaker. Like these are the things. Like a name is not going to mean anything. Like
he spoke about the name change. It doesn't bother him, so why should it bother us?
And here's the thing, dude. Like, yo, Bryan Danielson is an AEW. I still call him Daniel Bryan. I still call him Daniel Bryan because I don't care. Like, this guy will always be Gunther to me.
In a weird way, Daniel Bryan is still technically his name. It's just reversed. So
it's just reversed. It's just reversed. But I take the WWE names.
Listen,
like I take them.
We know great wrestlers. Steve Hatch. See, okay.
Just reverse it. I always reverse it works. Predictions on surprise returns and new acquisitions this weekend. Well, you know that Rusev and Malekith Black or Aleister Black is now re-signed with WWE. Do they make the obligatory Monday Night Raw return the night after WrestleMania? Probably.
You get a surprise on Monday. You get a surprise on Friday. Is how I see it for next week.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't think any surprise NXT call-ups.
Random thing. Allegedly, Jeff Cobb, who is now about to have his last, who's having his last match up against Hiroshi Tanahashi this Saturday. He will no longer be a part of New Japan, and allegedly, it's said that he is to be signed within WWE. I don't know how true that is. We'll just have to wait and see.
So I'm going to give you 2 things with that. If Fatu and LA Knight were on Sunday, that would have been a great way to have him come in and attack Jacob, and he could have replaced Jacob as the heater in that bloodline, whatever you want to call them. Okay. Also, congrats to our friend FNB getting so jacked and recognized, getting signed to
That's impressive. Get old Jeff Cobb now making his way. Believe Ray and Chad will be the sleeper match of Mania. Hope they work out a great match. I
I can
believe
see
so.
that.
Yeah,
I
I
can
could
see
definitely
that.
see that happen. Being like the show stealer of the night.
I also feel that there's a little more behind this match. I think we may be getting the end, not to say the end, but this could be Ray's
All right,
last
go.
like Mania.
Yeah. At
You
one
know?
stage over here, they used to do pay-per-views at the local cinema for like $10 a ticket. So they used to do a little closer television over there in Australia. Tristan T is from Australia. Dude, I think they're starting to bring that back a little bit too. They were starting to do it at the Alamo Draft Houses wrestling.
So Dave and Buster's, I know, do some stuff. I don't know if they're showing WrestleMania. They always show the AEW pay-per-views.
Oh, Jesus Christ, AEW. I would rather play video games. Send Rusev after Braun Breaker. That'd be a good match too. Rusev versus Braun Breaker.
I don't disagree. Unfortunately, again, you're going to bring in someone who hasn't been there in a while, and it's
To
kind
lose.
of gonna to lose. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Coming to
gonna
lose.
you're gonna AEW the person.
Roughshod now is a big fan of Io Sky apparently. No, let Sky run roughshod for the first 5 minutes and then even the playing field. I don't know how that match is going to play out. They added her in because, like you said, I agree with the representation thing. Because there was no other reason to put the belt on her other than that. There was literally no reason to add her. Even the promos where Rhea and the Bianca go, get out of here. And they just push her out the way. They're like, shut up. You're just here because you have to be. It's over.
Which also makes me nervous to think that maybe Io could come out as the winner, but I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
And it upsets me that if you just literally did this thing to take the belt off of Io because you didn't want Bianca to pin Rhea.
Rhea.
Like, why? Like, I love Rhea. Rhea's one of their biggest attractions, but you can lose a match. It's okay.
Totally agree with you, Tristan T. I do.
Honestly, Rhea and Charlotte's WrestleMania title match was one of the best matches I've ever seen. Now, how long ago was that?
This was 2 years ago.
2 years
WrestleMania
ago.
39.
Okay,
That
so
was
2
a
years
good
ago, like I said, Charlotte Flair since then has been divorced. Now, like I said, looks like a skeleton wrapped in masking tape.
She had a really bad knee injury.
Knee injuries, it's not the same, man.
Masking
When
tape.
Roddy Piper asked everyone to stand for the Mexican national anthem and played La Cucaracha, the Grande stuff is tame. Listen, I mean, Piper even did blackface at one point.
Right, we're talking about a very different time.
We're talking about a very different time. Piper was a
I
psycho.
think for the time, they're pushing the envelope just enough.
This is, they are getting away with just enough to not piss anybody off. But even they are still pissing us.
Yes.
I saw some complaints about it. Some people aren't really appreciative of what they're doing.
Really?
Yeah. Some people think it's a little insensitive to the lucha libre Mexican culture.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But that's the thing, dude. There's going to be overly sensitive people every day. It doesn't. What? Lucha libre is just Mexican wrestling. So it is.
That's all it is. Like I said, listen,
There's nothing.
I'm sitting here
nothing
telling you, I found the Gulf of America thing hilarious.
but like I said to you, he came out with his same exact singlet with fringe
Yes.
and an American mask.
Yes.
Like it's
Come on,
it's so funny.
guys.
He even does the same. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like he does the same. Like nothing changed.
Gracias.
Yeah, to me it's the same. Like that's funny when you keep it the same because you're trying to be ironic and you're being blatant. That's funny.
Hogan
that
Hogan doing Mr. America. Like, come
Yeah,
on, guys.
exactly.
Like,
That's funny. That's funny to me. Or when Cena did Juan Cena. And when John Cena got
my
fired,
God,
and he put the mask
yes.
on, he was Juan Cena. That's funny. The Gulf of America is funny. It's hilarious.
Yes.
The Gulf of America, it's hysterical. Come on.
Yes, it's making fun of something that's going on. Guys, with everything going on in the world, it's okay to laugh at some things. Like, come on.
Yeah. Wrestling has always done that too. So let's not act like this is the first time that wrestling has mimicked something and made fun of it.
It makes me think of the Terrell Owens thing when they did with Shelton Benjamin at Trish Stratus. You're a black man. You're a white woman. It's like,
oh yeah, when they did that weird interracial shit on Monday Night Football,
Monday Night
and they
Football.
recreated it on Raw. Yeah. Oh, listen, I mean, Vince looked right at Booker T and said the N-word.
yes.
I mean, like, come on, like,
which was also nearly 20 years ago, brought back up through Swerve, and that's a different story, a different topic. We'll get to on another day.
Oh yeah,
Yes, because I definitely want to talk about that too.
Yeah,
I like
I
Booker
feel about
T's
that.
response to that.
Yeah, Booker T's response it was impressive, and yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Listen, Booker T won't go on Vlad TV because that guy tries to start problems. Isn't he known for that?
As a person who watches Vlad TV for certain comedians or celebrities, he goes out of his way to find something to nitpick at. That'll
Yeah,
just make somebody just bring up anything. And then when it catches them in the line of fire where they can't get work, it's on him that he's the cause of it.
yeah, and he doesn't want to admit it. What a fuck.
Even though you're a grown adult and you should be able to answer shit whether you want,
Yeah.
to be more responsible for yourself on what you want to answer, what you don't want to answer. And Swerve took the bait.
Hey, real quick, any best entrances we think for this weekend? Do we think anybody's? Everyone assumes Punk's getting Living Color.
Yeah, I think Cody Rhodes will probably have a really good one.
Do we possibly get like what's his name, Tristan Cecil, whoever said about the mariachi band for Roddy Piper? Could we get something like that for El Grande?
That would be fantastic.
That would be hilarious.
You have this big, exotic setup and all this stuff. Everyone thinks it's Ferrari, and El Grande comes out.
Oh my God, that would be funny.
By the way, on a side note, I do believe that Randy Orton is going to get a match, so there'll be a match 7 added to Sunday night. It's just a matter of who it is. We have no clue, no idea, and I think we'll just wait to see who that person is when they come out Sunday.
Either Sunday or Friday or Sunday. Because it'd be great if Nick Aldis on Friday goes, "Your opponent is me," and he stares him right in the face. They have a good stare down. That'd be badass. That's not going to happen, obviously. It's probably going to be Rusev or Aleister Black. If I had to put my money on it, it would be something like that to surprise people. Because listen, that kind of set up for them on a silver platter because Kevin Owens got hurt. So now, oh shit, we have to bring back a surprise. This was handed to us on a silver platter.
You could also go a simpler route. You can go like Sheamus, like just to give them a match.
Sheamus wouldn't be bad too. That'd be an okay match, but like I it would be a letdown for me. Like even like Aleister Black and Rusev, I would if I had to pick one, I would pick Rusev because I like Rusev more. But like, but anyway, we're gonna wrap this up, ladies and gents. There's a lot of wrestling going on this week, so we hope you enjoy it. The Hall of Fame is Wednesday. You got Impact Wrestling, you got Stand and Deliver, you got WrestleMania, you got AEW if you really want to subject yourself. So there's something for everybody. I'm sure on all the internet wrestling fucking websites, you'll have GCW and all that other crap. You know how it works.
Blood Sports this week too, right?
Yeah. So all that shit is this week. So just be ready for it. We'll be back Monday with our analysis of WrestleMania.
Probably a 5-hour show.
Yeah, well, exactly. When John Cena is now your new WWE champion. But until then, guys. Yeah. Until then, guys, take it easy. We'll catch you next week on Spot Monkey Radio. Oh shit! I hit the wrong one.